Good day everyone, I am Blight S. Ilos, and for this video, I will be presenting to you or acting out the 7 steps in comprehending a poetry as part of our midterm project for our subject Edu 136, Teaching and Assessment of Literature Studies. Okay, so good morning everyone. How was your weekend? Okay, so for this morning, our discussion will be about the poem Song of Maria Clara, which is authored by Dr. Jose Rizal. Okay, so does anyone in class know or have been familiar with the poem The Song of Maria Clara? May I know who is familiar with the Song of Maria Clara poem? Okay, so I guess most of you do not know the poem Song of Maria Clara. Okay, so for today, this will be our discussion. That our topic will be about the song of Maria Clara. Okay, so let's proceed with the next. Okay, so before we proceed with the poem, let us first discuss some facts about poem, the poem Maria Clara, for us to be able to know or understand the meaning behind the poem. Okay, so first is that if we translate it in Tagalog, it is Canto de Maria Clara. Okay? So next, it is found in Jose Rizal's novel, which is No Limitang Here, chapter 23. It was written on the year 1887. So this is much like when the colonization of the Spaniards. Okay, so last fact is this is a POV of Maria Clara. So this is the poem or the narrator or the speaker of the poem is Maria Clara itself. So this is Maria Clara is Crisostomo Ibarra's love interest. So for the information of everyone, Crisostomo Ibarra is the main lead or the main character in the novel of Jose Rizal's Noli Me Tangere. Okay, so now let's proceed with the poem. Okay, so before we proceed, upon reading the title, Song of Maria Clara, what comes into your mind? Okay, yeah, maybe it's a song or it's a lyrical poem, right? Yeah. What else? Okay, okay. So I guess what the author, what Jose Rizal is trying to say here is that Maria Clara was maybe just sitting down in the window while waiting for Crisostomo Ibarra or while thinking of Crisostomo Ibarra, right? And she thought of singing her love for Crisostomo Ibarra. Okay, so that's how important that we should know the facts or you say I maybe not all the reason or facts about the poem why the poem was written, but we should be able to know some facts for us to be able to decode some reason behind the poem, right? Okay, so Song of Maria Clara. So this is a poem written by Jose Rizal, as you can remember while we were discussing the facts about the poem. So it was written by Jose Rizal. So Maria Clara is a character in the Punoli Metangere, the lover of Crisostomo Ibarra or the love interest of Crisostomo Ibarra. So this is a poem found in Rizal's book Noli Metangere, sung by Maria Clara, which accounts to the title of things. So that's okay. So as you can see, there are how many stanza in the poem? Yes, there are 3 stanzas. So going back to the title, who is the speaker or the narrator of the poem? Who can please raise your hand if you know the answer? Okay, so it is Maria Clara. So The poem is narrated or spoken by, or it is spoken by Maria Clara. So she is the person behind the poem. And do not be confused, Jose Rizal is the author of the poem, but the narrator or the speaker of the poem is, yes, Maria Clara. Okay, so let's go now to the first stanza. I will read it. Okay, so I will read the whole stanza, the whole poem, then we'll go by it by stanza. Okay, so sweet are the R's in one's native land. All there is friendly or which the sun shines above. Vivifying is the breeze that wafts over her fields. Even death is gratifying and more tender is love. Okay, so now as you have observed, or as you have read the poem, the first stanza of the poem, what do you think? What comes into your mind as you read the the first stanza? Okay, so basically, Maria Clara is telling that in their native land, there she can feel the love. So maybe while she was singing the poem, while she was speaking the poem, or while she was speaking the song of Maria Clara, while she was doing the poem, she is very in love. So going back to her love interest, she is in love with how the turnout of things of the story, well, because this is part of the poem, part of the novel. So maybe everything in that scene around the chapter where this is written, everything was okay, everything was fine, everything was good. She and Chrysostome Ibarra is in good terms. Okay, so that's how she is able to sing this, because she is feeling in love. So the mood here, the mood of the poem is she is very in love. She is in love with the fact that she is in love with her native land, her motherland, or maybe she is in love with Crisostomo Ibarra. We don't know. So it really depends of how you comprehended the first stanza. So basically, she is like stating that she is in love with her country. She is in love with their place. Maybe there are many beautiful flowers, there are many trees, or there is peace while she was saying this. Okay, so next is next stanza. Ardent kiss on a mother's lips are at play, on her lap upon an infant child's awakening. The extended arms do seek her neck to entwine, and the eyes to each other's glimpse are smiling. So what do you think is the second stanza trying to say? Okay, so maybe this is talking about her motherland, her native land, her mother, what else? A baby. Oh, yeah, so we can really come up with many things when we come here in the second stanza, right? Okay, so the second stanza is like metaphor. So who can say what is the metaphor? So metaphor is a literary device, right? Okay, so who can give me the definition of metaphor? Okay, so it's a word or a thing in a literary piece that is representing a human like characteristic, human like attitude, right? Okay, so here, if you look here, it's talking about an infant child, and in the if we look back into the first stanza, she is talking about native land. So we can say that she is relating the native land as a motherland or her mother or a mother or per se. And next is the infant child. So she is like relating her if we are to relate it in the situation, if you have read the No Limitang Hire situation a novel, so in this maybe she is trying to say that she she believed that their motherland is like a mother that protects, that one that caress a child, and the child are the people in that motherland, in that area, in that land. So it's like the mother is trying to caress her infant child, taking care of her, taking feeding her. It's like, so if we are to relate it to land, the motherland or the Philippines. Okay, so let's go into context of the Philippines. So it's like the Philippines, the islands of the Philippines is willing to take care of us, protect us when there are danger or anything like that. So what do you think are the characteristics of a mother? They are protective, they are caring, they provide the needs of their children, right? Okay, so here she is like trying to say that maybe Crisostomo Ibarra is her motherland that is willing to take care of her, caress her, right? Yeah, we could say that, or she is like referring to her mother that is willing to take care of her, that has provided her with her needs. Okay, so yes. Oh, okay. So there are there are many things that we can relate it to, we can connect it to. So it depends on your no interpretation is wrong as long as you know or you understand the literary piece, it is correct. So it's like we can relate it to her mother, to Crisostomo Ibarra, who can take care of her, make her feel loved. Yeah. Any question about the second stanza? Okay, so let's proceed with the third stanza. It is sweet to die in one's town, native land. All there is friendly or which the sun shines above, and deathly is the breeze for one without a country, without a mother, and without a love. So, as the third stanza really is interesting because it is in contrast with the first two stanzas, which is all about love, taking care, motherland, anything, right? But here in the third stanza, it talks about death. That death is when you die in, it is sweet to die in one's own native land. So if we are to relate it again to the situation in the novel No Limitang Hire, maybe Maria Clara is trying to say that she is willing to, it is okay to die if you are fighting for your native land or your motherland. Or if we relate it to the author, which is Dr. Jose Rizal, maybe this is one way of also of Jose Rizal telling that he is willing to die for the Philippines, for the freedom of the Filipino, right? Okay, so this is really in contrary, this is ironic to the first two stanza. So another literary device that we can observe here is irony, because as you can see in the first line there is sweet, then there is die. So like that. So we going back to the interpretation of the third stanza. So it is about, for me, it is about being willing to offer yourself for your motherland, or relating it to the author Jose Rizal. He was willing to die for the freedom of the Filipinos. He was willing to have an revolution. He wanted to protect the Filipino of the abuse of the Spaniards during the time of the colonization. So how about you? How about you, Mr. Albina? What is your interpretation of the story, of the poem, of the third stanza? Yeah, we can also say that it is about a mother. Also, we can relate it to the first two stanzas wherein a mother is willing to protect her child, her infant child, and is willing to die for her infant child even though okay, so as we relate it to the community, to the society today, our mothers now are willing to work double double job, two jobs, or work overtime just to provide, just to have enough money to provide the needs of her family, of her children. So it's like that, or reverse, the children is willing to protect their mother, their parents, in order to like give back to them because they have protected us. As a son, as a daughter, we are willing to protect them. We are willing to survive things. We are willing to struggle. We are willing to face things in life in order to repay them in the future. We are willing to we are willing to sacrifice our social life in order to pass an exam and a thesis defense, or I even know someone that is willing to skip a party at home just to study in her room or in his room. So okay, so now let's again read the 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 stanzas, the song of Maria Clara, and we'll do it by group. Okay, so group one. Okay, so group two. Okay, so group three. Okay, so now I will ask randomly what is your interpretation as a whole, the whole poem, the whole song of Maria Clara. Okay, so how about you, Miss Garcia? What is your interpretation of the whole poem, the song of Maria Clara? Yes. Okay, so you're right. Sometimes there really comes a time when we are willing to sacrifice ourselves, our own interests, our own need, just for our parents to be able to continue their just to save the money that they have earned, right? So we are willing to like some individuals even are willing to work part-time jobs as a student just to lessen the burden of their parents. Okay, so that's a good interpretation of the poem. How about you, Mr. Iluna? Okay, so we can also relate it to our national heroes, our heroes, those that um willingly sacrifice themselves just to fought the Spaniards or the colonizers before, just for us Filipino to have that freedom. So okay, so what about you, Mr. Orito? Okay, so about love. So we are sometimes willing to sacrifice the someone we love because she is in love with someone else. So okay, so that also could be related to the song. Okay, so now, so thank you for listening. So don't hesitate to ask questions. So does anyone have a question? Okay, so I guess no one has a question. So let's proceed with the activity. So for us to be able to express ourselves, for you to be able to express yourself, your understanding about the poem. Okay, so now your task is to create a digital poster of your understanding of the poem. Okay, so it can be anything. You can put any elements, you can put anything in your poster as long as that is your understanding about the poem. Next is you write at least one paragraph explaining what is your understanding and why have you put up explaining your poster. Why is that in your poster? Why is that somehow does it symbolize something? That everything you have the freedom to do to put whatever elements you can put in your poster, and of course there is no wrong interpretation. There is no wrong answer in when we are interpreting a literary piece. Okay, so that would be all about the poem. Goodbye, class. I guess that would be all about our discussion about the poem Maria Clara, authored by Dr. Jose Rizal. Thank you. Bye.